World War I, frequently abridged as World War I or WW1, otherwise called the First World War or the Great War, was a worldwide war that kept going from 1914 to 1918. Contemporaneously portrayed as the war to end all wars, 7, it prompted the assembly of in excess of 70 million military workforce, including 60 million Europeans, making it perhaps the biggest war in history. 8, 9, it is additionally probably the deadliest clash in history. 10, with an expected 9 million warrior passings and 13 million regular citizen passings as an immediate aftereffect of the war. 11, while coming about slaughters and the related 1918 flu pandemic caused another 17 to 100 million passings worldwide. 12, 13. On 28 June 1914, Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb Yugoslav patriot, killed the Austro-Hungarian beneficiary Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo, prompting the July Crisis. 14, 15. Accordingly, on 23 July, Austria-Hungary gave a final proposal to Serbia. Serbia's answer neglected to fulfill the Austrians, and the two moved to a war balance. A system of interlocking unions developed the emergency from a respective issue in the Balkans to one including the greater part of Europe. By July 1914, the extraordinary forces of Europe were isolated into two alliances, the Triple Entente, comprising of France, Russia, and Britain, and the Triple Alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. The Triple Alliance was just cautious in nature, permitting Italy to avoid the war until April 1915, when it joined the Allied powers after its relations with Austria-Hungary deteriorated. 16. Russia felt it important to back Serbia and, after Austria-Hungary shelled the Serbian capital of Belgrade on 28 July, endorsed halfway mobilization. 17. Full Russian preparation was reported on the night of 30 July. On the 31st, Austria-Hungary and Germany did likewise, while Germany requested Russia deactivate inside 12 hours. 18. When Russia neglected to consent, Germany proclaimed war on Russia on 1 August on the side of Austria-Hungary, with Austria-Hungary taking action accordingly on 6 August. France requested full activation on the side of Russia on 2 August. 19. German procedure for a war on two fronts against France and Russia was to quickly focus the greater part of its military in the west to crush France inside about a month and a half, at that point move powers toward the east before Russia could completely activate. This was later known as the Schlieffen Plan. 20. On 2 August, Germany requested free section through Belgium, a fundamental component in accomplishing a speedy triumph over France. 21. When this was can't, German powers attacked Belgium on 3 August and proclaimed war on France that day. The Belgian government conjured the 1839 Treaty of London, and in consistence with its commitments under this, Britain announced war on Germany on 4 August. 22. 23. On 12 August, Britain and France additionally pronounced war on Austria-Hungary. On 23 August, Japan favored Britain, holding onto German belongings in China and the Pacific. In November 1914, the Ottoman Empire entered the war on the Central Powers, opening fronts in the Caucasus, Mesopotamia, and the Sinai Peninsula. The war was battled in and drew upon each force's pioneer domain too, spreading the contention to Africa and over the globe. The Entente and its partners would in the end become known as the Allied Powers, while the gathering of Austria-Hungary, Germany and their partners would get known as the Central Powers. The German development into France was ended at the Battle of the Marne, and before the finish of 1914, the Western Front subsided into a skirmish of wearing down, set apart by a long arrangement of channel lines that changed little until 1917. The Eastern Front, on the other hand, was set apart by a lot more noteworthy trades of an area. In 1915, Italy joined the Allied powers and opened a front in the Alps. Bulgaria joined the Central Powers in 1915 and Greece joined the Allies in 1917, growing the war in the Balkans. The United States at first stayed unbiased, however even while nonpartisan it turned into a significant provider of war materiel to the Allies. In the long run, after the sinking of American vendor delivers by German submarines, the assertion by Germany that its naval force would continue unlimited assaults on nonpartisan delivery, and the disclosure that Germany was attempting to instigate Mexico to make war on the United States, the U.S. announced war on Germany on 6 April 1917. Prepared American powers would not start showing up at the front in huge numbers until mid-1918. In any case, the American Expeditionary Force would arrive at nearly 2 million troops. 24. Despite the fact that Serbia was crushed in 1915, and Romania joined the Allied powers in 1916 just to be vanquished in 1917, none of the extraordinary forces were taken out of the war until 1918. The 1917 February Revolution in Russia supplanted the Tsarist totalitarianism with the provisional government. However, proceeding with discontent with the expense of the war prompted the October Revolution, the formation of the Soviet Socialist Republic, and the marking of the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk by the new government in March 1918, finishing Russia's inclusion in the war. This permitted the exchange of enormous quantities of German soldiers from the east toward the Western Front, bringing about the German March 1918 offensive. This hostel was at first effective, however neglected to score a conclusive triumph and depleted the remainder of the German stores. The Allies mobilized and drove the Germans back in their 100 Days Offensive, a consistent arrangement of assaults to which the Germans had no reply. 25. Bulgaria was the primary Central Power to sign a truce, the Armistice of Salonika on the 29th of September 1918. On the 30th of October, the Ottoman Empire ceded, marking the Armistice of Mudros. 26. On the 4th of November, the Austro-Hungarian realm consented to the Armistice of Villa Giusti. With its partners crushed, transformation at home, and the military done ready to battle, Kaiser Wilhelm relinquished on the 9th of November and Germany marked a peace negotiation on the 11th of November 1918, adequately finishing the war. World War I was a critical defining moment in the political, social, financial, and social atmosphere of the world. The war and its quick outcome started various transformations and uprisings. The Big Four, Britain, France, the United States, and Italy, forced their terms on the crushed powers in a progression of settlements concurred at the 1919 Paris Peace Conference, the most notable being the German Harmony Bargain, the Treaty of Versailles. 27. Ultimately, because of the war, the Austro-Hungarian, German, Ottoman, and Russian empires stopped to exist, with various new states made from their remaining parts. Be that as it may, regardless of the decisive Allied triumph and the making of the League of Nations during the peace conference proposed to forestall future wars, a subsequent universal war would follow a little more than 20 years after the fact. Coming soon Part 2.